friends. Welcome to the home of all things ballroom dance. Today we are answering a question that many of you have asked in the comments off the top of my head. I believe Catherine, Azaday, LMS. And they have asked, can you possibly share the story of your journey in the ballroom dance world? So my personal story, and I have not been ignoring you guys. It's just a little bit overwhelming. It'd be like if someone asked you, hey, can you share your life autobiography on YouTube? And so it's a bit much, and I've been trying to identify, well, gosh, what would people want to hear? What would be boring, So I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants here and guessing what you might find interesting. So I'm going to start from the very, very beginning. I am adopted. So I was removed by social services from my biological mom and dad's home when I was almost 4 years old. And there were only two requests my biological family had to social services for the family that would adopt me. They said, can you please find a home for her that will be able to provide her with a really strong education in the fine arts and the performing arts, because this is something that has run in our family, a gift for these things. So guys, how crazy would it be if they knew what I was doing now, right? Because my life has definitely taken an unusual path. So no, I am not in contact with them anymore, but I thought you would find that to be the first really interesting thing coming out of the chute. So, hey, I was adopted, fortunately scooped up right away. I was in foster care, but it felt like two shapes of a lamb's tail. I had a wonderful foster family, but I was adopted right away. And my mom and dad absolutely followed through on their word and immediately had me in classes. So I was in a ballet, I took drama, I did choir, I studied classical piano for 10 years. I was played trumpet in the school marching band. I played French horn and jazz band. I was in choir. Now, like many American kids, compared to the rest of the world, I had a lot of irons in the fire. So not only was I dancing, not only was I doing a ton of that in music, but I also, did competitive soccer, track. I did sprinting as well as long jump. Softball. I hated softball, guys. I definitely am not talented at that. Painting classes, campfire girls, So I, at that time, absolutely loved dance. It was my very favorite thing to do. If I wasn't, out doing swing dancing, I was dancing alone in my room. And I absolutely immediately took a shining to that compared to all my other activities, for sure. And what's kind of weird, you might find this to be interesting, I actually started ballroom dancing much, much later than all but one professional dancer that I know of. And when I say professional dancer, I'm not referring to being a teacher, but I'm referring to be like a championship level professional competitor on that circuit. The only other person I can think of off the top of my head is Kimberly Mitchell. Now, I know we've got some long-term pros who are part of our group here. If you could comment below, Kimberly actually was a little bit before my generation, so I don't know the exact details. I believe she started competing when she was 16. and was extraordinarily talented, kind of skyrocketed from there, and also had family that was very supportive of her. So, rewind. I'm 14 years old. I just started my freshman year of high school, and my mom wants me to take ballroom dance lessons. And I was like, hard pass. That is the lamest thing I've ever heard of. You know, I had this vision in my head of like just kind of a couple hanging on each other and waddling around the floor. Unfortunately, guys, this is in the dark ages of ballroom dance where I really had no image of what ballroom dancing actually is. As there was no So You Think You Can Dance on TV, there was no Dancing with the Stars on TV. And there have been a number of reality shows focused on ballroom dancing, as well as kind of major films like Shall We Dance, this sort of thing. Strictly Ballroom. I'm sure you're familiar with all of these gems, but at that time I just thought, well, that is totally lame. I so do not want to do this. And I just dug my heels in. I was like, I'm not going. Refuse. That is the worst thing I've ever heard. Don't want to do it. So we take a vacation to Disney World. So we stayed at a very nice hotel in Orlando while we were there. It's called the Four Seasons. And in that hotel, they had a restaurant we would eat in each day. And that restaurant had a very small dance floor on it, like postage stamp, like a bar size. And there was a couple there, the same couple, every time we were there having a meal. That was, I didn't recognize what it was at the time. Looking back, it was like social Latin dance, you know, very bronzy, social cha-cha and rumba. Now, I didn't actually know what I was looking at. And of course, at the time, I just thought, oh, these people are amazing. They are, I don't know what they're doing, but I love it. And now looking back, of course, this hotel hired this couple as a shill, so to speak, just to entertain people a little bit while they're eating. But I didn't know that at the time. I just thought these people knew how to dance. And I was like, I want to do that. What is it? And my parents are like, it's ballroom dancing. I was gobsmacked, guys. I had no idea. So fast forward, we fly home, and I'm immediately in search of ballroom dance lessons. You're also going to find this to be kind of funny. I picked the studio I went to singularly based on having the cheapest lessons there. I called like 10 different places. And at that time, I did not understand there was a difference in levels of teachers. I was just like, everywhere I called was a small fortune. And this place had cheap group classes. Now, when I asked for more detail on these group classes, they explained that we would have to switch partners in class, rotate. And to me at that time, even though I was a good dancer, I was terrified of doing this, that people would see maybe I wasn't good at this, which is of course silly in retrospect, but so I had stopped calling around. I figured, well, if this is the cheapest place for groups, they probably have cheap private lessons too. And so that is the path I first took, because I was scared to dance in front of people, to ballroom dance in front of people. And so that's what I did. And I took weekly privates for a long time, maybe 2 a week, before I actually did end up joining those group classes. And by the time I did transition to those group classes, I was way beyond the skill level of everyone in those classes, and I was almost immediately functionally assisting in the classes. Though I was paying the tuition, I just love dancing, whether I was doing leads part, follows part, private lesson, group class. And I did transition temporarily to just the group classes, just to save money. Okay, guys, I'm already over that 10-minute mark, and we have just begun. So I'll tell you what, I will have a follow-up coming soon. Probably not tomorrow, because you guys seem to enjoy it more when I mix these topics up. So I'm going to shake things up, but I will be back so you can hear more about kind of my life in the world of ballroom dance. So thank you so much for joining me today. If you're interested in other ballroom dance stuff, hey, hit that subscribe button. We are a worldwide community of people who love ballroom dance. And I always love your comments, your questions. I appreciate them so much. If you hear a topic you'd like to hear more about, or just find the video entertaining, please hit the thumbs up button, because I do tend to share more on topics if I see a bunch of people like that video. If no one likes it and I get no comments, I just don't want to bore you and waste my time recording stuff that is not helpful or at least entertaining. So if you have any more questions, comment. If you like this, thumbs up. If you want to hear more about all sorts of things ballroom dance, hey, subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you first thing tomorrow morning. And happy dancing. Bye, guys.